Israelites. You know, we come in, week out to prophesy down for His kingdom. Gonna face the east and give all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Wahar, Rakat, Wadash.
Yeah, this lesson we're going to be doing a lesson in regards to the law not being done away with, because there's too much confusion in the Christian church about the law not being done away with. I mean, the law being done away with, and that's just foolishness. And we're going to bring out a couple precepts. So first we'll bring out Matthew chapter 5 verse 17 to 19.
Matthew chapter 5 verse 17. Think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. I come not to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, for verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall it no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled.
So that's Yahushua saying out of his own mouth.
That's right.
Till the heaven and earth pass, the law is still being established. Of course, we don't perform the sacrificial law, because Yahushua was the ultimate sacrifice. Because his blood was pure, it wasn't defiled, you know. Someone bring out 1 John chapter 3 verse 4, because we need to establish what sin is. Because sin is a transgression of the law, and that's going to be perfectly corroborated in 1 John.
1 John chapter 3 verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law.
So if sin is a transgression of the law, then how is the law done away with? How do we establish what sin is? We need legislation. If you want to establish something, you need order. And the Most High is all about order. The Most High is not all about confusion. Someone bring out Psalm chapter 19 verse 7, because the Most High says that it's most perfect. It converts your soul. So what does that mean? Let's see what it means. Someone bring it out. Psalm chapter 19 verse 7. Because when something's perfect, what does that mean? Come on, man. You can't be silly out there.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 19 verse 7, and it reads, the law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is pure, making wise the simple.
It makes wise the simple. That's why these Christians are so simple, because they don't follow the law. Well, us Israelites, we've got wisdom, understanding and knowledge, because we follow the law, statutes and commandments of the Most High. That's what gives you wisdom. That's why these Christians don't understand the scriptures, because they don't follow the laws. It's that simple. And they eat defiled foods, they eat pork, shrimp, lobster. You know, they attain to homosexuality. You know, they hold hands with Esau. Come on, man, everything's corrupted. So someone bring John chapter 14 verse 15. Because we're going to show you what love is. Because love is not emotion. Love is action. Love is a verb, it's an action word. Show love with your actions.
Chapter 14 verse 15. If ye love me, keep my commandments.
If you love me, keep my commandments. So that's Yahushua saying that if you love me, keep my commandments. That's what love is. Love is an action word. You have to show your love through action. It's not emotional. You can't just convey it through your words. You have to show it through action.
You say action speaks louder than words, man.
That's exactly.
Right.
This is the book of Psalms, 119 verse 142. It says, thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. So that, I was going to say, so Dinosaur is saying that the law is the truth, and this is the key. It's the key to the kingdom of heaven, you know, and this is something that the Most High stipulated for people Israel. So Dinosaur suggesting that the law can't be over and done with, because if the laws are over and done with, then that means there's no possibility of entering the kingdom of heaven, you know. So it's kind of foolish how people perpetuate the fact that the laws are over and done with, you know. I've got another precept with Psalms 119 verse 151. It says, thou art near, O Lord, and all thy commandments are truth. So again, that's David saying, again, the commandments are the truth, you know. The commandments are the key to life. Adhere to the Lord's commandments. The Most High said you put on a section of people above all nations on the face of the earth. And, you know, again, that's the key to the kingdom of heaven. So again, there's no possibility of getting to the kingdom of heaven if the laws are overdone. Essentially, that's what Yahweh said. He said he come to fulfill the law rather than abolish it. And until heaven and earth pass. So that being said, the laws can't be overdone with. And again, that's the key to getting to the kingdom of heaven.
I got a precept. This is James chapter 1 verse 22. Be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves.
Right. And that's exactly what these Christians are doing. They're deceiving their own selves because they don't really adhere to the scriptures. They just like the feeling of adhering to the scriptures, but they don't actually adhere to it. They don't divide the word of truth, and that's exactly what they do. And someone bring out Romans chapter 3 verse 31.
So I can see this. For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass.
You know? That's what it is. People that don't keep the law, they're carnal, they're not spiritual. That's why these Christians are so carnal. They don't have the right doctrines, they're not spiritual at all. They don't know what's going on right now.
It's the book of Romans chapter 3 verse 31, and it reads, do we then make void the law through faith? God forbid. Yeah, we establish the law.
It's not just about faith. Of course, faith is important. Faith in Yahweh Shai, the Most High, is important, but you have to establish the law. You have to keep the law. It's got to be in unison. You can't just have one about the other. It has to be a balance. These Christians don't deal with balance. It's either one or the other. You have to deal with balance. And the Most High even tells you a just balance is a delight to the Lord. But these Christians don't deal with balance. It's either one extreme or the other extreme. And you can't deal like that.
Oh, Khan, I was gonna get. Let me get it out. Khan, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 9. That this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Most High. It's like the law of the Lord, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy to see.
And that's the vibration that these Christians are on. They want prophecies of deceit. You know, they want their feelings to be. Right. They want to feel good. They don't want to hear the bitter aspects of the truth. The law, and them adhering to the law is grievous unto them. It's grievous, and you have a precept for it.
Yeah, we'll read it. Yeah, so this is the book of Psalms 119, verse 155. The salvation is far from the wicked, for they seek not thy statutes. Like what the brother was saying, this is what the Christian churches don't want to adhere to. They want to believe that the laws are over and done with. Because like what the brother said, to their ears, having to adjust and adhere to the laws, you know, is grievous to them. They want to believe that the laws are over and done with. And here, even David says, salvation is far from the wicked, for they seek not thy statutes. So if the laws, again, like I was saying earlier, if the laws are over and done with, you know, how can you enter the kingdom of heaven? How can you inherit salvation if the laws are over and done with? And that's King David saying out of his own mouth that if you seek the statutes, you obviously receive salvation. If you don't adhere to the statutes, salvation will be far from you. You know? So again, further amplification to the idea that the laws are still here to this day.
So I'm bring out 1 Corinthians chapter 14 verse 4, because this is going to show, this specific verse is going to show you that the Most High is all about order. He's an orderly power.
1 Corinthians chapter 14 verse 40, let all things be done decently and in order.
Let all things be done in decency and in order. How do you establish order? You have to have a law.
Exactly.
Without a law, there's no order.
Hey, there's yellow lines here. You know, if you can't park on the yellow line, man, you know, because you have to follow the instructions of the land, man. You know, even inside this Esau system, there's an order, there's a law that you have to comply to. Like the brother was saying, there's an order. You know what I'm saying?
It's the book. Book of Revelation chapter 22, it's the book of Revelation chapter 22 verse 14, and it reads, blessed are they that do this commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city.
So what's the tree of life? The tree of life is talking about the kingdom. You have to keep the law, you have to keep the commandments to enter the kingdom. You can't just have faith. And even if you just have faith without keeping the commandments, that really shows that you don't have faith, because you don't have faith in keeping. Faith is that if you have faith, you're going to actualize your faith. And faith is keeping the commandments.
That's right. And as well, when it comes to the laws, these laws are going to be put into our inward parts, man, showing that the law is not done away with. You know, it says, let me get a precept for you, right? This Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of the Most High, and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die.
There you go. Because it says the law of the Lord is spiritual, so it gives you life, it gives you that breath of life, it gives you spirit. That's how you function. That's what makes you able to function in this wicked society.
It's the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 8, and it reads, "This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth." This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth.
So it says, this book of the law shall not depart of thy mouth. Why is it referring to it as a book of the law? Because it's a book of law, prophecy and history. It's not just an allegorical book.
That's right.
It's not just a book based on narrative and stories. Come on, we have to be orderly.
That's right.
Right. But thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein.
Right.
For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success.
It says, follow all the things that are therein, not just the New Testament. It has to be both. The New Testament, the Old Testament, and the Apocrypha has to be everything put together. You have to follow everything. You can't just pick and choose what you want to follow.
This is the book of Psalm, chapter 40, verse 7. Then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me. So the brother is saying, man, you know, Yahushua comes in the whole volume of the book, from Genesis to Revelation, including the Apocrypha. You know, Yahushua comes in the volume of the book, man. You know, so going back to what the brother was saying, you know, the whole volume in its entirety matters, man. Like, let's say, for instance, someone is keeping the commandments, right? If you take the chip, you know, you're still gonna get destroyed, man, even if you keep the commandments 100%. You know, so you can't. The whole doctrine is the volume of the book, man.
One precept. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 12, verse 6. It reads, the words of the Lord, Yahweh, are pure words, as silver tried in the furnace of earth, purified 7 times. Thou shalt keep them, O Lord, thou shalt preserve them from this generation forever. So it means for eternity. So it means, again, from the generation back then till now, that we should adhere to rules that should come up to the Most High. But the words of the Lord Yahweh are pure. So again, if something's, like what the brother was saying earlier, something's pure and perfect, why should we change it? Why should something that is perfect be abolished? That's something that people have to think about. So again, that just emphasizes the idea that, you know, the laws are still with us till today, and we have to adhere to them accordingly. As the word says, the way of the Lord is perfect. The words of the Lord Yahweh are pure.
I got a precept. This is Jeremiah chapter. You can break it down. Jeremiah 31, verse 31. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the days that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them, saith Yahweh. It says, but this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith Yahweh. I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their power, and they shall be my people.
So yeah, that's going to be the new covenant establishing the kingdom. The law is going to be naturally embedded inside our DNA, just like it's embedded inside our DNA to speak, to walk, to have our 5 senses. And the same thing with the law, we're going to be programmed. That's going to be a program. The same way we're programmed by the TV, and different things.
Powerful, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to. It's going to be programmed. And it confirms that in the New Testament when you go to Hebrews chapter 8 verse 8, it's the same thing. So there's no distinction between the Old and the New Testament.
I got a powerful one that you can break down, yeah? Alright? Because this is what we're doing right now. Alright, verse 34, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith Yahweh. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more.
So yeah, that also shows how merciful the Most High is, because look at the amount of wickedness our people have done, but he's still willing to be merciful because his law, the words of his mouth doesn't go void. So he has to establish what he stated of old, and that's where it is. So yeah, I hope that this lesson, I hope that you brothers and sisters got something out of this lesson, and yeah, we just gotta keep the laws. We have to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. We have to keep orderly. We have to have faith in our shine.
To that, and give all praise to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Wahar, Rakar, Kodash.
Whoa, that's around. Death to Babylon, man.